What is up, everybody? Welcome to Jamestown. I'm James, and today I'm going to take you through my most recent deal that netted us $10,000 step by step, all the way from pulling the list of motivated sellers to walking into the title company to pick up our check. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video so you don't miss out on any of the steps that helped us make 10 grand in only 10 hours of work. Let's get into it. All right, so the first thing we had to do was pull a list of tired landlords from PropStream. So what we did was we used the quick search of tired landlords, which gives us people that don't live in their properties and have owned it for 15 plus years. And as you can see, this returned only 800 properties that we had to search through to find a deal. That's nothing and took barely any time. Then we had to do single family homes, condos, and apartments. We didn't want entire apartment complexes, and we didn't want vacant land. Then we chose properties that have never been listed on the MLS, so they didn't get accidentally thrown properties that were on the market now or were on the market recently and just changed hands and maybe didn't get updated. And then lastly, we wanted an individual owner type. This means that it's owned by an individual, just a regular person, and not a corporation or an entity such as an LLC. All right, so then once we finished pulling the motivated seller list from PropStream that you saw was only about 800 people, we start texting. Now to text these 800 leads, it only took about 4 hours, which isn't bad at all. And if you forgot how I text the leads or how I format my list, you can check out that video right here. So now I'm gonna show you the exact conversation that I had texting the motivated seller that led to this deal. So as you can see here, we started out with the first name and a question mark, just like I always tell you guys. She identified that it was her, so I went right into the script. You know, I saw your property over at XYZ Street and I was interested in it. She asked if I was interested to rent or buy. I told her I wanted to buy it, and then boom. She gave us the best news ever. They've been thinking about selling, but it's in really rough shape and they haven't really got around to it. So I thought, winner. I would love to do some work on the property, buy it as is, and we would take care of everything for you. She seemed really excited and ready to move forward, and she asked that I give her a call next week. So normally you try to get them on the phone right away, but in a situation like this where she requests a call, she said she had some sort of family thing to do, I just said okay, and we gave her a call the next week. All right, so then a week later, I gave her the first call. She didn't answer, but she actually had her husband call me back because she wanted me to talk to him. So me and him talked for only a few minutes, but I got the main conditions of the house. You know, the roof, windows, foundation, mechanicals, main things that are really expensive and you want to make sure are okay. And then we went through the inside cosmetic stuff. We determined that it was probably going to be close to a full rehab, but due to the fact that he didn't have a lot of pictures of it and the house wasn't too far from us, we decided to go check out before we got it under contract. Normally we try to get the contract executed before we do an inspection, but in this case, the situation worked out for us. We set the inspection for a week after the phone call, and that was it. All right, so then a week after the phone call, me and my girlfriend showed up to the property to conduct the inspection. So the first things that we like to look at are the roof, the windows, the foundation, and the mechanicals. Those can be the most expensive and are the most important to make sure that they're not completely damaged. Then we looked at the cosmetic stuff, like the bathrooms and kitchen. Obviously, it all needed updated. So we went through, took pictures of the entire property that we were going to use later on, and then went outside and had a small conversation with the owner of the property. Then in order to buy ourselves some time to run the comps, run the numbers, and make sure the deal would work for us, we told them we had to share the pictures with our potential partners and investors to make sure everything was going to be on the up and up. And then that was it. The inspection was done. All right, so after we went and had the inspection, we went ahead and ran the numbers. We determined that the ARV of the property was probably around $190,000, and we determined that the rehab of the property would be about $50,000. So we figured that we could probably wholesale the contract for about 90 grand. So we wanted to get it under contract for 80 grand. So we figured, why don't we offer them about 78 or 79 to start, and they'll want to put it up to a round number, and we'll get what we want. So here's the exact text conversations that I had negotiating with him. We did what we said, offered him 79, he rebutted with 80. Boom, we executed the contract, sent it over to them, got it done. So immediately after getting an executed purchase and sale agreement with the sellers, we went ahead and started looking for cash buyers. Now we do this also on PropStream. As you can see, here's the exact list that I used to find the cash buyers. I used the cash buyer quick list choice in PropStream, and then I just made sure that they purchased the property in the past 6 years to know that they're currently looking. That's it. I got back 177 potential cash buyers, which only cost me about $15 to skip trace and took me about a half hour to text. Now here's the exact text conversation that I had with the cash buyer that ended up closing on the property. So as you can see here, I texted him his first name and a question mark. He identified it was him. So I went into the script, told him I saw he had properties nearby, and I told him I had an opportunity for him. Sent him the website, which has all the pictures of the property as well as all the additional information. He then asked me if I was a wholesaler, which made me nervous, and I was like, damn, I don't know if I should answer him, but I told him yes. Then he called me, which made me nervous because I thought he was going to bitch at me, yell at me. They always tell you that everybody hates wholesalers. I answered the phone, and he actually just applauded me for the due diligence that I did to find him and find his phone number. He was super impressed with how I was handling business, and he was super interested in the property. So we went ahead and added him to the list of cash buyers we were going to invite to the showing. So once we finished texting all the cash buyers, we had about 15 to 20 interested in the property, so we set a showing for the following Sunday. Now we always like to set the showings on Sunday because that's just generally when people have them, and people also tend to have enough time to come check out the property. Now we usually have an hour window where we had all the cash buyers come through. About 15 of them showed up, which is a really good turnout. Now we like to do them all at the same time because it breeds a sense of competition. We even had people bring in their families, their friends, their investors, and their partners, so we had a full house. And the best part about this showing is that the sellers weren't even there. We built such good rapport with them that they just had the tenant there and we hosted the showing. And this stopped anybody from, cash buyers talking to the sellers, any unwanted conversations, and anybody trying to snake a deal. All right, so after we had the showing, we had a few lowball offers trickle in. One in particular that I want to tell you guys about. So there's a guy named Tommy, or as my girlfriend calls him, Tommy Bahama. He had a really overly orange tan, ponytail, shirt open with the hair coming out, the whole nine. Now while he was there, he said, no, you guys aren't gonna get 90 for it. You ain't gonna get 90 grand for it. So he offered me $70,000 in a briefcase full of hundreds, as he put it. Now, we only had it under contract for 79, so that was a ridiculous lowball. I told him we're gonna get the 90, and we moved on. Then later we had Ben, the guy whose conversation I showed you earlier, give me a call, and he said he had an employee named Josh who was interested in the property for the 90 that we were asking. So me and my girlfriend went and met him and Josh back out at the property for a second showing. He liked what he saw, we filled out the assignment contract, and that was it. We had it assigned. So after that, all we had to do was wait for the close date. September 19th rolled around. Now per the contract, the buyer gets to do one final walkthrough to make sure the tenant has all their shit out and to make sure that it's in the same condition it was when he signed the contract. Now you don't have to be there, but we always want to go be there for him in case he has any questions or concerns so we can protect our deal. Surprisingly, by the time we had gotten there, he had already walked through the property. I think he had brought his wife with him, and they had no problems, no questions, no concerns. So he went ahead and drove to the title company to fill out all the paperwork. And my girlfriend and I, we went to go have brunch, drink some mimosas, and toast to our new $10,000 deal. All right, now that's it, guys. You've seen step by step every part from pulling the list on PropStream to walking into the title company to pick up my checks of my most recent $10,000 deal. Now, if you guys have any questions or want me to make any specific videos on any of these steps, then leave it in the comments down below and I will absolutely oblige. All right, guys, now I'm gonna put a timeline up on the screen here that's gonna show you exactly how long it took to do each one of these steps, and you guys will be able to see that it only took about 10 hours of actual work to make $10,000. And going back through and seeing my scripts and how I talk to everybody, I've been doing and executing exactly what I've been teaching you guys here in Jamestown. That's it, guys. So you can see that I do what I teach and I preach what I do. So relax, take some notes, and let's make some fucking money.